being in Dubai is extremely, and I'll say that with my hand on my chest, extremely um, valuable. And it doesn't just give you a place where you can just leave, or you can actually thrive. For places like Dubai, most especially, it's skill. If you have good skill, you will get it. Now, again, you could have the skill, but how do you find those opportunities to get to these places and the rest? The second thing is, if you're good in real estate, if you're really good in real estate, if you've been if you've been a realtor here in Nigeria and you know that you know your stuff and you know how to sell, go to Dubai. You'll make a boatload of money.
Can you just start by telling us your current job title and just an idea of what your job looks like on a day-to-day?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me on this podcast, and glad to be here and to share whatever I can and to help out. So currently, I am just for the purpose of understanding what I do, because I kind of my what I do is a little bit abstract, so that people just get to understand me. I'm more of a software engineer, and I deal in building business applications on the Microsoft platform, most especially Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Microsoft Power Platform. I am a senior analyst programmer right now. So what does the job entail? Been doing this for quite a while, what about um, 10, 11 years now. It's quite interesting. It's something that I've been passionate about. I've always loved, computing and the digital world. So basically, on a day-to-day level, what I do is to get into the business and understand what the business needs are, translate business functionality, business requirements to software functionality. Um, Understand what the domain is trying to or the business is trying to achieve, and then propose to them solutions that can be built on the Microsoft Dynamics CRM platform. And also I lead teams to the completion of these projects, and interact with the customers to understand how the solution works, of course, just part of that delivery. So that's kind of what I do.
Okay, I'm going to delay asking you the types of skills that I would need to get into a role like that for now. I'll come to it. But you touched on having been in this field or in the nature of this role for about 10 to 11 years. Now, you're currently based in Malta, but you've not always been in Malta. You were in Dubai for a couple of years. So just take me back a little bit, please. Tell me how the opportunity to work in Dubai while you were in Nigeria come about.
Sure. To do that, I have to go back a little bit further. So, back in 2012, 2011, 2012, back in my NYS, when I was finishing my NYSC for international viewers. I mean, NYC is a service that we all have to do, just a year of national service. So just when I finished that, I was actually working in a company where they were more into contact center solutions and the rest. So that's how I kind of found Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I was working with other CRMs like Sugar CRM and all that. But anyway, I found Dynamics CRM, and I kind of loved it, and I started to build my skill in it. So I I I, I worked there for about 2 years, and then moved over to another company who also were looking for Dynamics CRM experts, because at that point, Dynamics CRM, which was just a CRM at this point, it was not the Power Platform like I talked about, just core Dynamics CRM. We didn't have all these other things because the platform has grown exponentially in the last 10 years. So it was just more of the CRM where everyone had to buy a CRM, and then we had to customize and do so many things. So I was kind of learning that, and that was one of the things I wanted to do, and that's what I was doing in my current role. How the opportunity of Dubai come in? So um, one of the things the platform allows you to do is to build custom solutions that you can sell. Okay, so what companies do to maximize profit is that they get developers and they build custom solutions that they can sell on this platform, right, to other places. So there was this company called Veripack. Veripack built a custom solution that they could sell, and it was based on banking industry. So At the time, they were bidding for a business, one of the banks in Nigeria, and my company I was working for was actually the ones who brought them into the business. Actually, my company was the one bidding for the business, but because we didn't have the expertise, we needed to source it out, like because the bank wanted something very tailored to banks, and we didn't have the expertise to start building and customizing everything from scratch. So Veripack already had this. So we kind of reached out to them and said, hey, okay, this bank, huge bank, wants this product, and they bought it. So they came in, and from discussions with them and everything, they kind of caught a whiff that, okay, I kind of understand what's there. So they gave me a nudge and said, hey, to be frank, what they said was, they didn't say that, do you want to join us? They said, we want to see if you are going to be okay to support our product. Because what they were saying is that if we're going to be your partners and you guys are going to sell our product for us, we need to know that you have good technicians or engineers that can support the product.
Yeah.
Exactly. So since they were selling to the bank, they wanted to know if the company I was in at the time had at least the expertise to do that. So at the time, I was the only one, well, about two or three, and I was supposed to lead the team from my company. So they kind of were giving me an interview. At the time I thought they were just giving me an interview to know whether I knew basic things about Dynamics CRM. Somehow it's kind of branched to a recruitment interview. And by the time we finished, they were now kind of like tap me and say, hey, how do you feel about working in Dubai, and in fact, they not say Dubai. They said, how do you feel about working in the UAE? Because the office was not in Dubai and all that. Now, I was really excited about it for two reasons. One is that I already knew this company. The company was a big company, and they were an OEM. And then it was just going to skyrocket my career, in that part, because I knew that they were doing dynamic CRM at the level that you should be doing it. In Nigeria at the time, we were not doing it. We were just really, honestly, we were playing around with it. But I knew they were doing it in the level, in international levels. So that's how I kind of, got that job. And then,
Sorry, let me just interrupt you there real quick. Before this came about, before this engagement with this company, were you in any way actively looking at opportunities outside Nigeria at the time?
yes, I was, but I was not looking at opportunities from a job perspective. I was just looking at opportunities from like just migrating, kind of like, the normal thing we're doing there in Canada, US, and the rest.
Yeah.
So I was not necessarily looking at opportunities like from a job perspective. If from a job perspective, I kind of like my company. I liked it. And I was looking for opportunities to move, but not to move from a job perspective. But one of the things I did understand, that if I was going to look for opportunities to even go somewhere else, was that for the places I wanted to go, or in fact any place, one of the underlying things that they were always asking for, and which will always set you apart from the crowd, was skill. So even when I was trying to migrate to Canada, I wanted to make sure that I have skill, experience, and all that. So that's one of the things I try to focus on.
Okay. So what was the process like? These guys have given you what looks like a job offer. You've considered it. You've now accepted the offer. And
Yeah.
I've kind of sped it through it quite quickly now. But can you just talk me through what the process was like getting what I'd say work permit or whatever it was you needed in terms of documentation to allow you leave Nigeria and then show up in Dubai ready to work?
Yes. So in Dubai, or for the UAE, is a bit it's a bit easier. Well, I won't say easier, but I think faster than most of the other Western countries. So basically, what they do is once you've gotten your job, once you've gotten your an offer, the company itself will become your sponsor, and then they start to process your residence. Well, not necessarily a work permit, it's more of a residency permit, not permanent residency. So
Okay.
once they start to process that, now for Nigerians, there were a couple of things I had to do. First of all, I had to get my certificates verified from the Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Education in Abuja. I had to, I didn't do any medical, anything on the medical, but and then I had to, once I got that verified, I think I had to send it over to them. And then the process from their own end, the process takes about 2 to 3 months for them to now give you what they call an e-visa.
Okay.
And once you get the e-visa, you can come over to Dubai, and then start to work. Then once you get to Dubai, then you have to do other things like your medical. You go in there, you do your medical. Then you go in and apply for your Emirates ID. I think in the UK you guys have it like your identity card, like your national identity card. So
Yeah.
your Emirates ID is what you now apply for that, and then once you, as long as you have sponsorship, then you will get. Um, Once you have your Emirates ID, then you know that you now have permanent residency. That's usually for 2 years. Of course, they will give you a visa. By the time you come in, your passport will be stamped with the visa on your passport, and which shows your occupation, what you're doing, and all that. The Emirates ID is just more of the identity that you're in the country, but then your visa is also important, so that at least if you go out, you can always
Come
show
back
that you
in.
have, yeah, exactly, you have a visa, and that usually goes for two. But your Emirates ID and your visa kind of expire at the same time. It goes for about 2 years or so. So but those stampings will happen in the country. Usually,
Okay.
for you to come in, they'll just give you an e-visa. So by the time you've gone through all that, the sponsorship and everything, and then the immigration from Dubai feel that okay, you're fine. They'll give you an e-visa. You come in, then they start the process of you do your medical, do your Emirates ID and the rest, and then you submit your passport for them to place in your permanent residency, so your resident permits, and then of course on your visa, which is going to be on your passport, and that usually lasts for about 2 years. And yeah.
Okay. And this sponsorship, how difficult is it to get for a place like Dubai? And the reason I ask, or just for some context, the UK, for example, if say you're already in the UK on, say, a student visa, and you want to switch to a work visa, you need a company to sponsor you. But, and I won't get into too much of the detail now, in general, it is slightly easier to get offers of sponsorship if you're already in the country through, in this case, a student visa, for example. If you're abroad, say you're in Nigeria looking for a job in the UK, there are certain requirements that the company must meet to say they are looking to sponsor someone from abroad. It's a bit more common for people in the medical field, for example, because in general, doctors, nurses, they're usually on what they call shortage occupation list. So they're typically looking for people in that field. But a few other sectors, you almost have to prove that you could not find anyone in the country to fill that role, and that's why you're going abroad to get someone. For Dubai or for the UAE, is there such a requirement?
No. From my experience, no.
Okay.
And like I said, um, I think for countries like the UK and the US, they need to do that because there's a high influx of people who want to go in there. So there has to be a filtering criteria. So they have to say, oh, we couldn't find anyone who could do that. But for Dubai, there is a need for skilled workers. So if you possess skill that is relevant to the country, you don't need to they don't need to find a need to say, oh, we could have found someone in here that could do it. Now remember that a country like the UAE is quite young, and I think they have a population of about three to five, I think 5 million people as of now.
Really?
Yeah,
Only?
yeah, just it's quite small.
Well,
Even at that, I'm not quite sure, and I won't say this, but I think it's about that. I don't know if it's the entire UAE or even just Dubai. I think Dubai has about 3 million or so, but the UAE doesn't have a lot of people, and I think only about 15% of that population are actually nationals, Emiratis. Okay, so if you're taking 85% are immigrants, only
wow.
15% of that, you can see that there's a need for people to keep coming to the country because, of course, no matter how big you guys are, 15% will not make Dubai what it is today. And the Emiratis, um, beautiful people and hardworking, but they don't usually go into. They are more found in the government jobs. They're more found in the control, the jobs that control the government and the country than in tech and STEM and the rest.
Okay, and in other roles in the day to day.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and that's why I said they need the skill. So if you're ready, let's say for example you're good in the hot skills in the market now, Web3, AI, uh, big data science, and all these things, you're more likely to get good placement in there because that's what they need. Dubai is very futuristic, it's very future centric. So they are going to be, it's a smart city, they're moving forward, and they need skill. They need skilled workers, they need people who already have these things to come in and build that. So for places like Dubai, most especially, it's skill. If you have good skill, you will get it. Now, again, you could have the skill, but how do you find these opportunities to get to these places and the rest? One of the things is this. I know it's kind of a segue, but how do you find the opportunities? To me, one of the biggest places I think, and I think people underestimate it a lot. I think people take care of more of their social profiles than the other profiles, but LinkedIn is huge.
Hmm.
If people could put in more time on their LinkedIn profile and sell themselves so much on their LinkedIn profiles, they will get so many opportunities. 80 to 90% of all the recruiters are on LinkedIn, and with remote working coming in and the rest, where's the number one place you can go and search for people? At this job boards and the rest is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place where people go to sell their skills. So you see, and LinkedIn has so many cool features to know whether you're open for work and all that. And so if you can, showcase your skill on LinkedIn, whether you're experienced or you're not, but maybe you have projects. Let's say I give an example. Let's say you're good in Power BI, or you're good in website development, or you're good in digital marketing and stuff, and you can go to your LinkedIn profile, look at projects that you're doing, even if it's not for a company but it's your own project, and someone can see it. Like someone clicks on it, sees a very beautiful report that you've built, or you click on it and sees some kind of nice project that you did. That recruiter will already start to talk to you, because they're looking for and the world is so global right now that people from Asia and Africa are literally making a lot of the workforce for the Western places. And I mean, you just need to know how to put yourself out there, and really using the power of LinkedIn is huge. I've gotten so many opportunities from LinkedIn. Um, you wouldn't even believe it. So yes, have those things. That's one way you can get opportunities. Two is be actively looking for opportunities and be ready for opportunities. Like I said, don't have to learn a skill and then apply yourself in the skill. You don't have to wait for, I've learned something in, I don't know, programming, and I until I have a job before I program. No, build something. Look for a solution and build it, and then that's what I'm saying. And then market yourself. Open your own website, put it out there, and that's what I'm saying. And then put it on LinkedIn. Continue to build your portfolio so that when the opportunity comes, you're ready for it. Don't wait for it.
That's very solid advice, Ikenna. And now that you've focused a lot on skill, I want to go back and starting with your own, since it's a field you now know very well, but also from your experience in Dubai and the types of opportunities that are available there. Can you just tell me some of the types of skills you think are in demand now, the types of skills that people should be trying to grow if they're looking for those kinds of opportunities?
Yes. And I'm going to focus on skills that I know can give you a good job, okay? Because of course, if you're a plumber, electrician, and the rest, you could, but it's more it's dicey, and I'm not very I don't know it so well, so I'm not going to say that, because Dubai is a place where that people that is always that is building a lot. So people who have unskilled labor could, but it's dicey. I don't like doing that because it's easier to just get someone from Bangladesh or Pakistan than going all the way to Nigeria to get that. But what I would say is this: some of the skills you can do at this, and I'll state them. I won't just give you a blank statement. One, if you are good in IT, things like Power BI, things like data science, things like digital marketing, things like programming, anything in the Web3, so anything in blockchain, AI, okay, huge, okay. And I think, and when I say this, I think a lot of people might get put off, like, oh my God, I need a 10 degree to do these things. I'm Martin, we went to the same school, so you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You don't need that. I just think we should not be put down by when you hear big names, because I'm sure if I said, oh, just have a social media profile, everyone, oh yeah, they can be. I don't think you need that. I just think you just need to be intentional, dedicated, and put in the time and effort. Give yourself 6 months, 1 week, 1 year. Put in the time and effort to build that skill. Where I am today, I'm not saying that I didn't go to my university did not play a part, but I am where I am today because I put in. I said I wanted to become a developer, a programmer, and all that, and I loved computing. And then I put in the work outside my university days, and I still keep on learning till now. And every opportunity I've gotten to today is work that I did 10 years ago. I did not learn Dynamics CRM in photo and everything.
University, yeah.
You know, I learned that, you know, by putting in the work and understanding what's trending now, and then, you know, gravitating towards what you need. Data science is huge. It's big. And when I say data science, you don't necessarily need to become a data scientist building models and all that. Data science goes in anywhere. You can be a data engineer, you can be a business analyst, you can be the core data scientist. It's a broad topic, and a lot of people want that. A second thing is, if you're good in real estate, if you're really good in real estate, if you've been a realtor here in Nigeria, and you know that you know your stuff and you know how to sell, go to Dubai. You'll make a boatload of money in real estate.
Okay, that one I definitely wouldn't have thought about, to be honest.
No, yeah, but no, if you're good in real estate, if you're good in really selling and everything, you'll make a boatload of money if you're good in real estate in Dubai. Yes, you will grind, but yes, you can make a lot of money. Real estate in Dubai is huge and all that. Majorly in Dubai, that where they usually want for skilled people who are good in the techie world, because they are very futuristic. They know where they want to go to, so they want people who are very good in the techie world, you know. So they usually get that. So someone who has done computer science, or, you know, built himself up from there, can make some good money.
No, thanks for that, Ikenna. I like the way you broke it down, and also even put timelines that people can almost use to guide themselves. So things like 3 months, 6 months, just commit yourself, pick one of them. And I think I remember one of the times we spoke, one of the things you said, people might even underestimate how valuable it is to be very competent in it, is even things like Excel. You know, a lot of people still think that Excel, you just use it when you want to add stuff up in a column. But there's a lot to Excel, and there's some people that are looking for people that are extremely competent in Excel, because Excel, you can do a lot with it, even with the data science. So, you know, that's very useful. Now, just following on from that, talk to me about settling down to life in Dubai. Obviously, you've mentioned one thing that I like about the idea of working in Dubai, because anytime I hear about someone working in Dubai, first thing that comes to my mind is they're getting paid and they're not getting taxed. I still don't know how that works. But apart from that, just talk to me about life in Dubai, settling in Dubai, culture shocks, and just the idea of living there, because I know things are slightly different now, and maybe there are more people traveling now, but as you know, when a lot of people in places like Nigeria are looking to travel, immediate ideas that come to mind are places like the UK or Canada or US. For you going to Dubai, what was that like? What was life like in Dubai?
For me, so first of all, it's just be ready for a culture shock, whichever way. Once you get anywhere, I mean, once you, of course, if you're traveling outside Nigeria, even if you're going to a neighboring African country, there'll still be some differences. So there's going to be some culture shock. However, I think people need to really understand that. I think there's a bias already created when you talk about places in the Middle East. You know, maybe the news doesn't say so much about it, and then when you also talk about places like Dubai, where everyone feels that maybe it's only for the rich and famous, or you just want to go for holidays and the rest, and that's what they sell, and that's fine. However, being in Dubai is extremely, and I'll say that with my hand on my chest, extremely um, valuable. And it doesn't just give you a place where you can just leave, or you can actually thrive. So what I mean by that is, if you have a good job, and that's why I'm focusing on people having good paying jobs. If you have a good job, I think the most expensive thing you will spend in Dubai, which I think is everywhere, is rent. And that's it's not even compared to a place like New York, where you're paying $3,000, $4,000 for like a studio apartment. No, in Dubai you won't even get that. You can get something really, really good if you have that. So rent is kind of the only thing. But if you're getting good money, and when I say good money, I don't mean like you're a very rich person, but I mean just like I said, 3,000, 4,000 pounds tax free, you should be able to live a very comfortable life in Dubai. Transportation system is beautiful. The infrastructure is world class, really world class. Dubai has over 200 nationalities living there. Trust me, if it was not world class, you wouldn't have the amount of people. The people from the UK live and thrive in Dubai a lot because it works for them. And but just know that once you come in, yes, you're in a Muslim country, so you have to abide to their laws. They do not, they're not as secular. So come in, and so you have to abide by their laws. You mess up, they get you out. We're not coming here to say, hey, no, we're Nigerians who know how to move. No, no. You mess up, you're out. So you just have to abide to the laws. Be focused. Uh, There's no. I stayed in Dubai for 7 years. I never really experienced any segregation or the social things we usually try to. Everyone is really okay. People are cordial. Maybe not the friendliest, but anyway, everyone finding friends is all about you, right? I mean, if you want to, but maybe not the friendliest and the rest. But everything works, right? Things work very well, really, really well. It's a beautiful country, not just Dubai, but the UAE itself. Because prior to me even living, I lived in Dubai for 4 years, but prior to doing that, I lived in a neighboring state called Ajman, and it was also beautiful. It's the smallest state in the UAE, but it was
Okay.
also very nice. It was really nice too, and everything works really well. Nice culture, nice people, depending on who you are, and I mean, I really think that this myth of despairing, like the Middle East is bad. It's not. It's not. And this doesn't just go for Dubai. This goes for Qatar. This
Mm.
goes for Saudi Arabia, yes, because I've also I've been in Saudi Arabia for work and rest, and I have people who live there, and some of them are saying they're not going anywhere because it works. So the Middle East can still be a place if you want to consider to move to gain experience. I don't really support it to stay for long term,
Mm.
for the reason and just for the reason that there's no longevity to it. But yes, you can go in there.
You've gone straight to the next question I had in mind, as if you read my mind. The question I was going to ask is, with the UAE, and I've now said UAE because in my head, the different states that make up the UAE probably have a single policy. But let me just go back and say, for Dubai, is there a path to permanent residency status? Or, like you said, you started off with like a 2-year residence permit. Do you just now have to just keep renewing that, or there is no path and no option to eventually get to a point where you say, I'm now eligible for permanent residence?
As far as I know, there's none. And I think as
Okay.
far as the other 10 million people in Dubai know, there's none. Because I've met people who have been in Dubai for 40 years and there's none. What they are trying to do is, because they know that they want to retain people and they know that they don't want to lose, is they're trying to now extend those things. So rather than you having only 2 years and keep renewing 2 years all the time, so most of the time, sometimes they give you 5 years. They've introduced, just last year, last year or 2 years ago, they introduced what's called the golden visa, and this is for people who are highly skilled or have maybe really paying jobs. So people, maybe let's say you are um, an A-level student, or you're a businessman who's going to open a business in Dubai, or let's say you're a heart surgeon and you want to stay in Dubai. They will not give you that. They will give you a golden visa, and the golden visa is for about 10 years. So it means you can stay 10 years in
Mm.
Dubai without renewing for that, for like every 2 years. So you have to wait till 10 years, almost like what the US does with their permanent residency, right? 10 years for 10 years residency. But you renew after 10 years. You're not going to say, okay, after 10 years, maybe after 6 years of that, I can now become a national. No.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the reasons why you don't pay taxes, because when you start to pay taxes, then you have some kind of involvement into the the nation, and
Yeah.
the country is theirs, it's not yours. You're just visiting. But yes, there's no path, and I don't think there's any path that allows you to do that. And remember, Dubai is not a democratic nation; it's more monarchy, and
Yeah.
so it's ruled by kings and sheikhs and the rest. So there's no, so everything that is there is for them. Not there's no voting. There's no. So I don't know. I don't think. And this doesn't just go across just Dubai. It's across the Middle East, Qatar,
Yeah.
Bahrain, Saudi. There's no path for that. But yes, you can get 10-year visas, 3-year visas, 5-year visas. And if you are very good and you don't have any issues, you will get these things renewed very easily.
Okay. No, that's good. That's useful to know. I
Yeah.
think it's very important for people that are considering it as an option to know those facts. But I think, like you've emphasized already, there are benefits to it. It's a good place
Yeah.
to get experience, and without too much emphasis on the money side. The truth is that's why a lot of people are going out. So if you can get a place where you're getting a good income and you're not getting it taxed, then depending on your long-term goals, you just take the time, save, and then choose what you want to do next.
Yeah,
But,
and
but
it's just another place to bounce, right? It doesn't mean that, oh, I've got to Dubai, then now that's my destiny. No,
yeah,
I mean, Dubai is, and that's why the Middle East is actually, it's literally the hub to the world. the Dubai airport brings in over 200 planes every single day from other countries. And it's the hub. Everyone kind of like comes to Dubai and then goes out. So it can actually be a hub for you to even get from Dubai to the UK or from Dubai to Netherlands. Or it can actually be bouncing a springboard to anywhere you want to go to.
Okay, and for you, at what point did you decide, or at what point did you make up your mind and say, this is the number of years I want to stay in Dubai, and as from this point, I want to start looking at opportunities elsewhere?
At what point? At the point when I got to Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, because I already knew that it was not. First of all, me getting to Dubai wasn't like I was like, oh, as you said, an opportunity just came, and I actually went to the UAE not because I wanted to, like I really wanted to go to Dubai and all that. I went to UAE because I was chasing a career. I was chasing my job, and then the job just happened to be in the UAE, so that's why. So Dubai was not like a place I was looking for, but I'm glad I went there because it really opened my eyes to, and to a lot of the bias and everything that people had towards it. And I'll say here, if you do get a good job in Dubai, a good paying job in Dubai, please do go. You'll really love it. It's not bad. It's not a horrible place, really. Now, when I got there, I knew it was not a place I was going to stay because I've always wanted to, really get closer towards my my family who are currently more in North America than here. So even from Nigeria, I was trying to get to Canada all the way. So when I got to Dubai, I knew that okay, what I was going to do was first of all I needed to gain the experience. So I knew I was going to work for this company for the current company I brought me to Dubai for about 3 years. I said I was going to give it about 3 years and work for them, and I was actively looking to leave, not because I hated the place, but I was actively looking to leave to that. But however, like I said, we were looking for, and then another opportunity came in, a job in Dubai, which was going to pay me bigger than the rest. And then I went there and then kind of got sidetracked a bit. And then I was like, okay, and I now put in another 4 years in that job. And I was like, okay, no, you know what, I need to leave because I've already put in. I wanted to only stay about 3 years in Dubai, 3 to 4 years, and now I've added another 3 on it. So I was like, okay, you know what, I don't care. I have to leave. So I started actively looking for, how to leave. And like I said, the way I was looking to leave was to move over to Canada under the Federal Skilled Workers Program.
Yeah.
But while I was doing that, again, like I said, the power of having skill and LinkedIn, someone reached out to me. And even before that, I was getting a lot of job offers, but they were all in Dubai. Like, hey, do you want to do this? And this is why I say, when you have skill, all these things just start coming in. You could come in and start getting £2,000 in the beginning, and then before you know it, in 3, 4, 5 years, you're at 5,000, 6,000. It's just how it happens because you keep growing, right? So anyway, this other company in Malta now reached out to me. Now, I didn't go because of the job. I went because Malta was also was in Europe, which was like my second part if I couldn't get Canada. And then secondly was I now just going to give me some stability, okay? Because stability because in Dubai you don't pay taxes. But the caveat to that is you're responsible for every other financial thing in your bucket. So which means that if you don't have pensions, you don't have social security, you if you don't know how to invest, all that is in your and it ruins a lot of expats because a lot of people just come in here and just all they're just getting is that salary and then they're spending it and then maybe you don't know how to do it, and then the day you leave Dubai they say hey bye, they don't give, there's nothing to like, there's no social security, there's no, so a lot of people stay 10, 15, 20 years and they have nothing to it. So
wow.
So there was no stability there, and I wanted to start having roots, somewhere that okay, even if I have to pay taxes, but I know I have social security, I know that I can be in a place that has a path to permanent residency and even citizenship. And Malta proposed that, and also not only that, but also because being in Europe, in a Schengen area, not only do you have the EU at your disposal, but also the Schengen countries, which can help you, either go around, travel around, see more of the world and all that, and even say, okay, hey, I don't like Malta, I think I want to stay in France. Or even someone can get you into France. I've seen people who have been here, and a lot of people from the Netherlands have gotten them over to come and work and all that. So it's just becoming a little bit more viable, and that's how I kind of went from Dubai over to Malta.
Okay, now let me start by saying thanks for the insight into Dubai to start with. That's been very useful, and I think a lot of people can take plenty information from there. From the way you've explained it, it makes perfect sense for someone to consider it. Just keeping in mind that you might have to be thinking about it with more long-term in mind.
Yeah.
But it's a good stepping stone, like you described it. So for Malta now, can you just go into a bit more detail about how